Our story takes place at the Washington Village Cemetery, located in Washington Township, just south of Mansfield, Ohio. This is my K2 meter, which detects EMFs. EMF stands for electromagnetic fields. I purchased my K2 meter in 2019, and it has proven to be one of my favorite pieces of ghost hunting equipment. The theory behind detecting EMFs in ghost hunting is that ghosts or spirits are comprised of electrical energy, so if you detect EMFs, there's a good possibility that you're detecting spirits, especially if there are no electrical devices in the area. In August 2020, my godson Thomas and I were investigating with the K2 meter at the Washington Village Cemetery, and it was lighting up to a 3 everywhere we went. We initially thought that perhaps a spirit was following us around. I came up with the idea of Thomas and I wanding each other with the K2 meter, the way a correction officer or security officer would wand someone with a metal detector. Upon doing so, we discovered that the meter was lighting up to a 1 with Thomas, which indicates that the meter is on, and to a 3 with me. We took this photograph to document that the EMF detector was only registering a 1 with Thomas when he stood in the exact same spot as me when it lit up to a 3. This is the photograph that we took to document that the K2 meter was registering a 3 on my chest area. In case you're wondering why I'm not wearing a shirt, it's because I removed it to show that there was nothing under it that could be causing the detector to light up. This is a picture of me with my twin daughters, April on the left and Autumn on the right. Neither of them share their father's interest in the paranormal. When they separately saw the previous picture of the K2 meter registering a 3 on my chest area with no apparent reason, they each suggested that a plausible explanation could be that the meter was detecting the metal in my chest that was used to hold my sternum together after my open heart quadruple bypass surgery in 2018. The problem with this explanation, in my humble opinion, was that the K2 meter is an EMF detector, not a metal detector. Also, over the next few weeks, I tried the K2 meter on my chest at several locations, and the only place it lit up was at the Washington Village Cemetery. My daughter April is the show me type. Upon my posting the picture with the K2 meter registering a 3 on my chest area on the Facebook, she challenged me in a comment to that picture to take a photograph at home with the K2 meter on my chest area, apparently to prove that the wires holding my sternum together were not causing the K2 meter to light up. Per my daughter's request, the picture on the left is me in my bathroom demonstrating that the K2 meter only registered a 1 on my chest area, which is merely an indication that the meter is on. The picture on the right was taken approximately 30 minutes later at the Washington Village Cemetery, showing that the K2 meter was registering a 3 once again. I previously mentioned that my favorite piece of ghost hunting equipment was my K2 meter. My second favorite are my homemade dowsing rods, which I made in 2019. Like divining rods, dowsing rods were originally used to detect underground water for digging wells. At some point, ghost hunters started using them for ghost hunting. This is Thomas conducting a dowsing rod session at the Washington Village Cemetery after we observed the K2 meter registering a 3 on my chest area. Thomas allegedly made contact with the spirit who had lit up the K2 meter. He was able to determine that the spirit was a male and liked the Sacred Heart of Jesus metal scapular that I was wearing. Using the dowsing rods, Thomas was able to get the spirit to lead him to its grave, which was nearby, and to cross when he got in front of it. We placed the K2 meter at the base of the headstone and asked the spirit to make it light up to verify we were at the right grave. The meter lit up to a 3, as shown in this picture. Unfortunately, the headstone was too weathered and worn to make any identification. Thomas asked the spirit if he had any family buried with him at the cemetery, and the spirit indicated through the dowsing rods that his wife was buried in the grave next to him. As can be seen in this picture, the wife's headstone was leaning severely, and like the husband's, was too weathered and worn to make any identification. We placed the K2 meter on the ground in front of the wife's grave and asked the spirit to verify that it was his wife's grave by making it light up. The meter lit up to a 3. This is me using the dowsing rods at the Washington Village Cemetery after I put my shirt back on. I made contact with the spirit who had indicated to Thomas that he had lit the K2 meter up on my chest area because he liked my Sacred Heart of Jesus metal scapular, a Catholic religious medal. I asked the spirit if he was Catholic, and he indicated he was not, which made sense because Catholics back then would have been buried in a Catholic cemetery. I also asked the spirit how he knew that I was wearing the medal under my shirt, and he indicated that spirits such as he can see through our clothing. As mentioned, over the next several weeks and months, I tested my chest area with the K2 meter at numerous other locations, and the only place that it would light up was at the Washington Village Cemetery. This is a photograph that was taken at the Washington Village Cemetery in October 2020. Please note that the meter is registering a 3. This photograph was taken on a subsequent visit to the Washington Village Cemetery in October 2020. As indicated by the K2 meter registering a 3, the spirit we had been communicating with all summer and fall apparently also liked the crucifix that I was wearing on the outside of my shirt. This photograph was taken at the Washington Village Cemetery in November 2020. Despite the cold, Thomas insisted, for paranormal research purposes, that I remove my shirt and coat to prove that there was nothing under them that would make the detector go off. This is Thomas enjoying a lighter moment with the spirit who indicated to him through the dowsing rods that he thought it was funny when I got cold after removing my shirt and coat. This is me using the dowsing rods after putting my shirt and coat back on. The rods are crossed in response to my asking the spirit if he liked my hat. In this picture, I'm amused at the spirit's response to Thomas's unsolicited question as to whether it had indicated in the previous picture that it liked my hat because it felt sorry for me for having taken my shirt and coat off in the cold. This is a picture of me using the pendulum while at the unidentifiable grave of the spirit who had been lighting up the K2 meter due to liking my religious medal. Unfortunately, we didn't keep a written record of the questions asked or responses received. In September 2021, my friend Josh and I went to the Sherman Room at the Mansfield-Richland County Public Library, where cemetery indexes to local area cemeteries are kept. This is Josh at the Sherman Room scouring over the cemetery index for the Washington Village Cemetery.
We just came from the Richland County Library and we found out that the deceased here, his name is Benjamin Barnes.
Benjamin, does that ring a bell? Is he lighting up the...
He's lighting up right now.
Turn it so we can see it.
He had it to a 3.
These are the headstones at the Washington Village Cemetery of the spirit who we determined in 2020 liked my religious medal, and his wife. Thanks to our visit to the Sherman Room, we now know that the headstone on the right belongs to Benjamin Barnes, who died in 1842. Unfortunately, we were unable to verify that Benjamin was married or determine the identification of the person buried at the severely leaning headstone, who Benjamin allegedly informed us last year belonged to his wife. If anyone watching this video can identify the person buried at this headstone at the Washington Village Cemetery, please leave a comment in the comments to this video. So, at this point, our last remaining big question is whether or not the spirit who allegedly liked my religious medal in 2020 will still like it in 2021, which we are about to see in the next video clip.
We're at the Washington Village Cemetery, and at this grave last year, the decedent liked my religious medal. We're going to see if he still likes it now. Wait a minute, let me turn it on. Okay. See, lighten up.
Yeah, it's lighting up.
Okay, lighten up to 3.
3.
You still like my religious medal? You like that?
Yep, it's lighting up.
In June 2021, my friend Ben, the founder and lead investigator of the Ashland County Paranormal Society, during a Facebook Live session recorded with me at another location, discussed my experience at the Washington Village Cemetery with the K2 meter and my Sacred Heart of Jesus metal scapular, and made the following suggestion.
Well, that'd be interesting when you go back to see if that happens again. And then what I would do is when you go back there, if that happens again, then go back to the car, take the necklace off, leave it in the car, and then go back to that same spot and put the K2 meter up to that same spot on your chest and see, because it, you know, yeah, that's what a skeptic might say. It's that metal in your chest from the heart surgery. So if that is the case, that it's that metal in your chest, then it would be lighting up. But if you put it up to the chest then, without the necklace on it, it doesn't light up anymore. Yeah. But it's a cross, though.
Yeah. Well, it's a scapular. It's a Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Oh. Okay.
It's kind of wore out because it's old.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I can't explain it because I've tried it at home, I tried it at other places, and every time we go back, it still lights up. I took my shirt off just to prove it wasn't anything under my shirt.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
I've taken my Sacred Heart of Jesus metal scapular off, and I put it in the car. Now we're going to see if the K2 meter lights up on my chest without it. Is it lighting up?
Nothing.
Is it on? Oh, yeah, it's on.
After taking my friend Ben's suggestion and returning to the cemetery and seeing that the K2 meter still lit up on my chest area while wearing my medal, and it did not light up after removing it and placing it in my car, I decided I had to conduct one more experiment to prove once and for all that it was not the metal that was holding my sternum together after my open heart surgery. I placed my religious medal on a plastic coat hanger and then checked to see if the K2 meter would light up on the metal in open air.
And I'm at Benjamin Barnes' grave, and I'm going to do a test. I put my metal scapular on this hanger, and I'm going to see if the K2 meter lights up on it. It's hard to see in the sun. I can't tell whether it's actually going off.
I can't see it either.
Actually, yeah, it's going to 3.
Yeah, it is.
After not being able to see the lights lighting up on the K2 meter due to the sun's glare, I decided to come back later and conduct the experiment during the hours of darkness. And I also decided to throw in a little twist. Prior to our arrival at the cemetery, I had Josh put on my religious medal to see if the alleged spirit of Benjamin Barnes, who claimed in 2020 that he could see through our clothes, would notice that he was wearing it.
Okay, we're at the Washington Village Cemetery, and we got Josh standing by Benjamin Barnes' headstone, and he's going to run the K2 meter across his chest and see if it lights up. Okay, go ahead.
The K2 meter didn't light up on Josh's chest, But was that because the spirit of Benjamin Barnes didn't notice it under his clothes, or wasn't expecting him to be wearing it, or only likes it when I wear it? Now let's watch what happened when I put my Sacred Heart of Jesus metal scapular on the plastic coat hanger.
Okay, we're still at Washington Village Cemetery, and I put the Sacred Heart of Jesus scapular on this hanger. And we're going to hold this K2 meter on it and see if it lights up. As you can see, it's lighting up to a 3 here. There's nothing here that's electrical that should make this go off. You getting that?
Yeah. Maybe it just doesn't like me.
Okay, well, Benjamin, you must like this metal, right? Did we trick you when we had Josh wearing it? Because usually I'm wearing it. But we had, he went off.
Yeah.
We tricked you. I had Josh put it on before we got here. Okay, well, I see you're down to 1. 1 just means you're on, that the meter's on. Can you come over here again and make the metal light up? Okay, it's going up to a 3 again. Okay, thank you.
I really have no explanation for the unexplainable paranormal activity discussed in this video. So is there a ghost at the Washington Village Cemetery who likes my Sacred Heart of Jesus scapular medal? Unless and until I hear a better explanation, I'm leaning towards yes.